When you are ready.
Okay. Imagine with me for just a moment that Church A, B, and C currently exist within 3 miles of each other, and they are all failing to meet their monthly financial goals. What a shame it would be if these churches were unable to maintain their ministries due to a lack of finances. These churches that have been active in their respective communities for decades were forced to close. By existing in partnership, these before-mentioned parishes would be able to cut costs with strategies such as bulk purchasing and staff reductions. And as a direct result of creating and participating in a connected community, they can individually regain the much-needed strength to maintain those ministries. And this is simply one example of a multi-site approach to church structure. My name is Tiffanie Shanks, and I propose the addition of a multi-site consulting practice within the upper levels of the United Methodist Church. MS Connectional Consulting will send consultants to different parishes to help them develop a multi-site organizational strategy. The consultants will work side by side with the change agent of the organization to make this change as efficient and effective as possible. This plan that they build will be built on the unique organizational culture of every parish, place a high value on the possibility of different multi-site models, and include the overarching vision of both the church and the parish leadership. As an intern at the West Ohio Conference this past summer, I know that in light of the socioeconomic trend that signals the decline of the church in today's society, there are a number of churches that are pursuing this multi-site opportunity. I also know that the church itself, the conference itself, is pushing for this as well. There are also a number of churches that currently operate as multi-site organizations. However, they are inefficient. The addition of MS Connectional Consulting to the conference will both facilitate and improve this process of organizational cultural change. And so when your church starts to think about multi-site, when your church starts to think about multi-site transformation, please remember that true community begins with true connection. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. 6 minutes of questions. How big is the problem with this church?
In the West Ohio Conference, which only includes half of the state roughly, there are 1,100 parishes. There are currently approximately 30 parishes that operate as multi-site organizations, some of which are doing fine at that, but there are a number that are struggling. There are also approximately 100 to 150 parishes at least thinking about going in this direction due to lack of finances and needed resources.
I guess I'm unclear about your vision and how that fits into what you're presenting.
The vision, this overarching vision?
Just your schematics, especially the 3 tiers under.
Okay. The overarching vision part is basically that the church, the United Methodist Church specifically, for instance, owns all of the local parishes that we see in our community. They own the building. And so when the church starts to die out, if that church dies, they have an empty building. And so what do we do with it? What you see underneath here is are the options that are 3 of the possibilities that they could use to maintain that building. One is a merger, where you have the church that's struggling partner with other churches that are kind of struggling and make use of things like bulk purchasing, staff reductions, and things like that. The adoption case, here you see in the center, is where you have a church that's functioning fine. They're doing a good job, and they see a church nearby that's not doing so well, and they sort of take them under their wing and say, we're going to help you so that you don't die. The New Start venture is when you have a building that actually is empty right now, and so what they do is the well-to-do church, I suppose, sort of seeds the start of the building that unfortunately did die out. Any other questions?
How much is church membership or church participation declining?
I'm not sure as far as an overall situation. I know in my home church, we approximately 3 years ago had we were pushing 800 regular members every week, or regular attendance every week. And at the end of last year, we were around 550. And so there are a number of reasons that they're thinking about that might happen, but as to why that happened. But it's definitely an issue to deal with. I got an email a couple of days ago that actually mentioned the expected increase this fall was the opposite, and they wanted my opinion on why certain churches were actually declining, especially in college communities. So.
What did you tell them?
Well, I think for that particular case, it was the church I interned at this summer. I think that part of the problem is one of their services. They're thinking about going multi-site because of the limited space that they have in the building. And so as they're thinking about doing that, one of the things that they did before that is they added a Saturday night service. But in a college community, Saturday night, church is not where you want to be. So that was my thought. That was what I told them, I suppose.
Further questions? Thank you.